Kayla McCarthy from Anderson University, and she did her first lesson today.
Yay. You gonna come back tomorrow?
I am.
Okay.
Right after today.
I'll be here for the next couple months.
And have we introduced you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, now she's famous, right? Did everybody see Miss
Yes.
Amos?
She knows me.
Video.
Okay. We introduced you
No,
before?
last semester, with last semester.
Well, introduce her.
This is Kaylee Reichardt, she's, my student from AU also. So, yeah, she's gonna start on Tuesday, her first week.
Okay, cool. All right, so I put 10 things on the agenda, but about 6 of mine take 5 seconds or less. Then, of course, Curtis comes in and starts adding crap. So if he comes in, I'll let him do his. If not, I'll zoom right through it. But I'm going to start at the end with Multimania and let Jenny Lynn go ahead and go first since she's got a class. Again, all the people that went to Summer Institute, I've asked them to be prepared to show you something that they learned that they like. So, Jenny Lynn, take it away.
All right. Woo-hoo. This summer, went to Avid Summer Institute and had a blast, learned a lot. And I'm going to share with you one of the strategies that I fell in love with in our Science 2 strand at Avid Summer Institute. And each of you has a paper, or there's a stack of papers that has a meme on it. If everybody can grab one of those, that's what we're going to be using for our strategy.
If you don't have enough, let me know. There's probably extra on another table.
Thank you. All right, the name of this strategy is 4-3-2-1. And ordinarily in class this takes me an hour to do, but y'all would take me forever if we did that. So I'm going to condense it a lot, and we're going to speed through it just to give you a general idea of how it works. But the reason I love this strategy is, especially in science, we want students to be able to look at graphs and data tables and diagrams and really be able to analyze them. And I know some of the other content areas, especially math, have similar issues. But if you wanted to use this in English or art or foreign language or history to look at paintings or political cartoons, any type of graphic would be good to use with this strategy. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through 4-3-2-1. We're going to do a condensed version, and I'm going to talk you through how you can use this in your classroom. So I have given you an image, and we're going to be analyzing this image today. And as Ms. Dobbins always tells us, we should start learning a strategy with a fun one. So this one is kind of a joke or a meme off the internet. So before our students really start analyzing material, we want them to make observations. So the 4 in 4-3-2-1 is for our students to take time and make 4 observations about the picture they are looking at. So for right now, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. I want you to read your meme and write 2 observations that you make just by looking at it.
Two in the middle need to be switched.
Yeah.
It says what Miss Dobbins thinks I do. Nice.
Jenny Lynn, I forgot to tell you that this is my favorite team meeting, and they always get rowdy.
Yeah. 4th block,
Yeah.
class, teachers, yeah.
Very astute observation here.
Down in 1st block, we're quiet. We're not caffeinated yet.
I was about to say there's a dollar on
Well, while y'all are finishing up writing, on the back, since we are rushing through this, I have given you the directions for implementing this in your class so that you have those full directions in case you forget. But ordinarily in class, you would give your students time to really make observations and write down those 4 observations. I usually give them several minutes to do that. But once they make their observations, I want them to share. So I either have them read their observations to their team members, because they are sitting in groups, or if the class is good and can handle it, I have done gallery walks, where they will leave their paper on their desk, and the students will get up and walk around and look at each paper to see what other students have observed. And then I give them time when they sit back at their desk to add to their observation list. So while they start with 4 that they came up with, they may end up with 8 to 10 by the time they're done sharing. So this is also really collaborative too, which the students enjoy. They're not just sitting there quietly. All right, so that's the 4 in 4, 3, 2, 1. The 3 is to ask questions. Okay, and the students will take time to look over their observations, look at their picture again, and write 3 questions that they have about the image that they are looking at. So for right now, I want you to write 1 or 2 questions that pop into your head when you look at this meme.
You're so confusing. So now I have a good question. What's
Why everybody is wrong about what I really read? I wish everybody were right.
What do you want?
We do it right.
Alright, most of y'all have at least 1 question written down. I want at least 3 people to share the question, or a question that they came up with. So, volunteer?
What is the reason on how public has the misconception of what we do?
Okay, good question. What's another?
Can we whoop our kids?
Alright. Not the first time we've had that question. Alright, and 1 more.
How many other teachers feel like head in hands guy?
Okay, so you can give your students time to share their questions, and what I like to do, especially if we're doing a difficult topic in science that has something to do with our content, I may clear up some misconceptions or allow them to answer their questions to make sure that they have a pretty good understanding of what we're talking about before we move on. I don't want them to be too confused, because the next section is where they're going to start putting things together and really analyzing what it is they're looking at. So the 3rd step in 4, 3, 2, 1 is the 2. Okay, here you will take the information you've gathered from observations and from our discussion of the answers of questions and the questions that you wrote down, and you're going to write 2 analysis statements. Okay, these are 1-sentence statements about what you think the meme is saying, or what you think it's trying to depict. Okay, so just take a moment and maybe write down 1. Once you have your analysis statement written down, in my classroom, I would either let the students share some of their analysis statements. A lot of times they're really proud of what they've written because in the beginning they have no idea of what they're looking at, and then all of a sudden they're starting to kind of understand it. So they want to tell you what it is they understand. Or you could do the gallery walk again, allowing them to look at other people's analysis statements as well. And the very final step of 4, 3, 2, 1 is the 1, and this is where they're going to write a summary. Now, I always ask mine to write 3 to 5 sentences summarizing what it is they should be pulling from the chart or the graph or the picture that they're looking at. And y'all don't have to do that at this time, but sometimes they like to share, but I use the summaries to let me know if they really did pull from the activity what they should have and where we may need to do a little more work as far as content understanding. But the kids usually like the activity because they do get to share. It does take up a large portion of class, but they like sharing their ideas and not, taking notes. It's a good way to introduce content and practice content without doing the same old thing. So we enjoy it.
Good job, Julie Lynn. Mr. Smith, did you want to add to anything about that?
Let me say a couple things real quick. I'm going to embarrass Jenny Lynn real quick. I've seen a big difference between last year and this year. Last year was her first year of teaching, this year was her second. She went to Summer Institute for AVID and has come back on fire with using AVID strategies in the classroom. And if EOC scores are any indicator, it's a big difference from last year. She's done a great job first semester, so I want to commend her for that. Secondly, you've probably seen this a different way, and just like any strategy that gets presented in these team meetings, don't think that you have to do it exactly that way. Make it work for your classroom. When Ms. Dobbins used to observe me, I did a 3-2-1, and it's kind of like 3 things that you learned, and it was kind of like an exit ticket. 3 things that you learned from today, and it has to be more than we learned about the Civil War. It has to be something specific, something they can point to on the word wall and explain. Maybe 2 questions, 2 COSTA questions that might be quiz or test related, and then maybe a summary or some other fact. But anyways, just say all that to say, make it work for you, adjust it, because you can definitely use this across the content area.
Okay, thanks, Jenny Lynn.
All right. Thank you, class.
Like last time's PD, we will put these on the website and the videos for not only our teachers, but teachers across the district to see. You're going to see Drew's in a minute, but Jenny Lynn's got something happen to it, so we had to redo it today, 3rd block, in our team meeting, and we're not going to show you that one because it's exactly what you just saw. But it will be up on there. Speaking of Summer Institute, I went to a district AVID meeting yesterday, and I came back heartbroken. Heartbroken because y'all know that AVID is my passion. And so the district told us yesterday that where they used to pay for 8 teachers per school to go to AVID, they're cutting it to 5. And that's like a shot to my heart. Now, is Westside going to try to do some fundraisers and do something to be able to send more teachers? Yes. But here's what I want you to do. If you have a Summer Institute, this summer is in Tampa, and it's the 3rd week in June. If you have a burning desire to go to AVID Summer Institute, I need you to email me and tell me why. You can email me 3 bullets, or you can write me a novel, whatever you want. If you want to go to Summer Institute for AVID, then what I'll do is I'll take those wants, and I will turn them over to Curtis and Corey because I won't be here, and it shouldn't be my decision, okay? If you want to go to Summer Institute in Tampa, you need to send that email to me pretty quickly. Doesn't matter if you've been before or not. Doesn't matter what you teach. If you have a burning desire to go, okay? All right, so Jeremy, Herbie, and Taylor are the table teachers. And I've given them a stack of information that you don't have. So I'm going to go through some stuff really quickly that I need for them to do. All right, table teachers. There's two pieces of paper you need to pull out. One is an email that's got a big number 1 at the bottom, and it goes with a ledger sheet.